here we have it, the new sports car. You're probably laughing at me. You're thinking, well, a sports car is a two-seater. It's low slung. It goes around corners. It's something like, or traditionally like Porsche's 550 Spyder or the current Porsche Boxster. Well, let me tell you, 5-seat SUVs are high-performance vehicles now, like this Jaguar F-Pace SVR. Yes, it seats 5 people. Yes, you can put all kinds of stuff in the boot. But the reality here is this rig can do anything a traditional sports car has always done, and maybe a little better. And by the way, the sales charts tell you exactly what's happened to sports cars. They've collapsed. People just aren't buying them in any great numbers. And don't get me wrong, I love all sorts of traditional sports cars, but the reality here is you can do lots of crazy things with this rig. I mean, Jaguar has stuffed a 500 horsepower twin turbo motor under this hood. I mean, that's an amazing amount of grunt. And it growls so much that, well, it'll scare grandmothers out of their rocking chairs. It'll carve corners with a plum, and it'll race from a stoplight. And when it comes to racy SUVs, Jaguar is definitely not alone. Porsche has the Macan Turbo. Mercedes-AMG, the GLC 63S. Alfa Romeo competes with the Stelvio Q. And from BMW, the X3. How fast are we talking? I mean, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 4.5 seconds or less. The snarly Finlandier, this is not a showpiece. This is the real deal with a supercharged motor under the hood. This F-Pace SVR is not your normal 52.5, 247 horsepower F-Pace starter model. No. That one is painfully dull compared with this 92,000 plus F-Pace SVR. And by the way, the motor in here, the supercharged V8, is the same motor you get in the Range Rover SVR, Range Rover Sport SVR, and the Jaguar F-Type SVR. Except here's the difference. The Range Rover Sport SVR with that motor starts at 105 grand, while the F-Type with that motor starts at 115 grand. So all in all, this is a bargain. By the time you drive away in this mega quick SUV, you'll be in 6 figures, trust me. But that still makes it the cheapest car you can buy from Jaguar Land Rover's special vehicle operations. Oh, for sure, this high-riding rig, well, it costs a pile of dough. But there's some advantages. First of all, you don't need to climb down into a cockpit. You just slide in. It's an SUV. If you take it out on the racetrack, well, it works just fine. And if you take it out on challenging public roads, well, you can have a lot of fun. Now, some of you are going to say, well, this is the age of battery electric cars. Don't you get more zoom out of adding more battery cells? Well, I'm sorry, folks. This is just a traditional cubic horsepower, forced induction supercharged V8, pretty old school. The SVR here has its own bumper treatments, front and rear, along with real hood vents and quad exhaust tips. All aggressive, snarly even. No apologies offered. This look slaps the face of hipster posers. Inside, the design treatment is slick but not overdone. One big screen manages infotainment functions and such, while the gauge cluster tells you in numbers how much fun you're having. Standard gear includes heated and cooled front seats, heated rear seats, 14-way electric adjustable sports front seats with memory, heated steering wheel, electrically adjusted steering column, 11-speaker, 380-watt sound system, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, all fitted to every F-Pace SVR. So from an equipment perspective, here you get everything you'd expect in any luxury car of 90 to 100,000 grand. What's special here are the guttural theatrics when you tap that throttle. It just leaps ahead like a wild cat. It's just so much fun. Okay, what do you have here for mechanical bits and pieces? You get an 8-speed automatic gearbox that sends power to the 4 wheels via an electric active differential. Flick the gear selector to sport and the car comes alive. And I mean car, it doesn't feel like a car. The revs increase as the shifts occur later in the range. If you really want some joy in your life, manage the shifts yourself via the wheel-mounted paddle shifters. Jaguar's engineers have done some terrific work here, but the F-Pace isn't as dynamically sorted as the class benchmark, Porsche's Macan Turbo. If you're in a casual mood, you might find the stiff and damping a bit much, choppy, especially on bumps at slower speeds. The brakes, however, are amazing and the steering is quite sharp. I have to be honest here, while this Jag is a marvel and a joy to drive in a racy mode, boy, it does struggle with sharper bumps on the road. So you want to dial up the adaptive suspension and leave it in comfort mode in your everyday. Sport mode is harsh on all but the smoothest blacktop. That said, it rewards skilled driving, and that is entirely the point of the F-Pace SVR. Truth is, we're going to see fewer and fewer of these old school performance rigs as the decade rolls on. What I mean by that, it's not electrified. There are no extra batteries to juice the performance. So enjoy it while you can. The FV. Let's start again. Porsche F-Type, F-Pace. One more time. Oh, stop. Have a look. Yeah. Based on adding more. And I think eventually this is going to be an anachronism. So, yeah, one more time.